Pip puffed out his tiny chest and looked out at the biggest sky he had ever seen. "Tomorrow," he whispered to himself, "I fly across Whispering Canyon, and I win the migration race." But Pip didn't know that somebody, hidden in the leaves above him, was already listening. Pip was the smallest bird in Sunflower Hollow. His wings were still a little wobbly, his feathers still a little fluffy, and every single day he dreamed of the migration race, the legendary flight across Whispering Canyon to the great nesting tree, where every bird who finished got to ring the golden Sunbell. Pip wanted that more than anything. But Pip had a problem, a big one. Pip could not keep a secret, not one. If he had an idea, a plan, a hope, a fear, it came tumbling out of his beak before he could stop it. His mother always said, "Pip, some things are meant to stay inside your nest until it's time." But Pip never listened, and Pip was afraid that if nobody knew how clever his plans were, nobody would ever believe in him at all. The night before the race, Pip discovered something amazing, a hidden shortcut through Whispering Canyon. A narrow gap between two cliffs that the older birds had forgotten about. If he flew through it, he could beat every single bird in the race, even Talon, the fastest flyer in the hollow, who always laughed at Pip's tiny wings. Pip was so excited he had to tell someone right now. That's when he met Silka, a beautiful silver-feathered magpie he'd never seen before, perched sweetly on a branch nearby. "You seem very excited," Silka said, tilting her head kindly. "Want to tell me why?" And Pip, because Pip could never ever keep a secret, told her everything. The shortcut, the gap in the cliffs, his whole entire plan. Silka smiled a strange little smile. "How wonderful," she said softly. "Good luck tomorrow, little one." The next morning, Pip flew to the starting branch, buzzing with excitement, and stopped cold. Talon was there, smirking, whispering to two other birds. "Nice shortcut, Pip. Thanks for the tip." Pip's heart sank. Silka wasn't a new friend at all. She was Talon's cousin, and she told him everything. Pip wanted to fly home and hide in his nest forever. His flaw had cost him his one advantage, and now Talon would use his plan to win. "I always ruin everything," Pip mumbled, wings drooping. But before Pip could sulk any further, the race began, and every bird shot into the sky at once, including Pip, who took off just to not be left behind, shortcut or not. Talon reached the hidden gap first and dove straight in, laughing. But the gap wasn't as empty as Pip remembered. A family of sleepy owls had moved in overnight, and Talon crashed straight into a wall of very grumpy feathers. Squawks and hoots echoed through the canyon as Talon was chased right back out, tail feathers smoking with embarrassment. Pip, flying past, couldn't help but giggle. "Guess the shortcut wasn't so secret after all," he chuckled. Then gasped, remembering the owls were still very much awake and very much annoyed. Now Pip had a new problem. The owls were furious, and they didn't care who had started it. 3 owls burst out of the canyon, wings spread, straight toward every racing bird in sight. Pip could have kept flying, could have left the others to deal with the mess he'd accidentally caused, but then he saw a small sparrow named Junie tumble out of the sky, too frightened to fly straight, right into the owl's path. Without thinking, Pip dove down and grabbed Junie's wing, pulling her into a tight spin behind a rocky outcrop. His heart pounded, but he held steady until the owl swooped past overhead, grumbling, and finally flew back to their nest. "Thank you," Junie breathed. "How did you know to hide there?" "I didn't," Pip admitted. "I just knew we needed to be somewhere they couldn't see us." Junie looked at him differently now, not like the smallest bird in the hollow, but like someone who noticed things others didn't. As they caught their breath, Pip spotted something no other bird had noticed. Cracks glowing faintly gold along the canyon wall. An old, forgotten passage, even older than his shortcut, one his grandmother used to describe in stories before bed. But the passage was blocked by a massive fallen branch, far too heavy for one small bird to move, and the other racers were already catching up fast, their wing beats echoing louder by the second. "I can't move this alone," Pip said, staring at the branch. Junie landed beside him. "Then don't," she said. "We do it together." One by one, the birds Pip had accidentally endangered, even Talon, feathers still smoking, landed beside him too. Nobody had forgotten what Pip had done to save Junie. Together, wingbeat by wingbeat, they pushed the branch just enough to squeeze through, revealing a hidden sky bridge of golden light leading straight to the great nesting tree. The birds flew as one through the glowing passage, wind rushing past their feathers, laughter mixing with the whistle of the canyon, and burst out together, side by side, right in front of the great nesting tree. Nobody won alone. Every single bird who had helped move that branch crossed the finish line at exactly the same moment, and the golden Sunbell rang, not once, but again and again, for each of them. That night, as Pip curled up in his nest, Junie landed beside him. "You know, you didn't need a secret shortcut to be amazing. You just needed the right moment to share it, and the right friends to share it with." Pip thought about Silka, and about Talon, and about Junie. He was starting to understand. It wasn't that plans should never be shared. It was that some things, his hopes, his ideas, his heart, deserved to be shared with people who would hold them gently, not people who would use them against him. Pip smiled up at the stars, the golden Sunbell still ringing softly in his memory. Tomorrow, he'd have 100 new ideas, but this time, he'd know exactly who was worth telling. As Pip drifted to sleep, a tiny scrap of paper fluttered down from above. A map, torn at the edges, with strange markings none of the birds in Sunflower Hollow had ever seen before, and it landed right beside his nest.